some of the things that I see and hear, I don't understand how people are in functional relationships out here. So, my brain hurts. So, I came by this post on the timeline today, and I'm just going to read it out because I don't know what else to do with it. I can't paraphrase it, but I've definitely heard things like this before, and that annoys the hell out of me. Let me start with the post itself. So, it hurts just seeing it. Okay. Oh. As a woman, no matter how old your hubby is, he is your first child, which... Okay. Men are babies. Men are babies, and it takes a mother at heart to handle a man and capture his soul. Your hubby is your first practical child. What? It's not over. Your hubby is your first practical child, and if done successfully, motherhood and marriage will be fun, even in pains. Okay, so I cannot speak to the experience of being a woman, of being a wife, of being a mother. That is well beyond my scope of comprehension. I can empathize with some of the situations that are there, but I cannot possibly fully understand every single nuance and every single detail about being a wife, being a woman, being a mother. I'm going to speak to this thing about men are babies, and it breaks my brain every time. This is why. Why would anyone get into a healthy relationship with someone whose mindset is so childlike? What's the point? My understanding of a relationship is that it's a partnership. Life is already hard enough as it is, okay? It's tough. It's ridiculously tough. Right now, more than ever, it's ridiculous how tough it is. And then you get into a relationship with someone who is a baby, and we want to encourage that behavior. A fully grown adult, not being responsible, not choosing to act like an adult, basically, which, being a member of said species, a lot of us do. I mean, there is no point denying it. But why would we want to encourage that behavior? Why would we want to continue saying all men are babies? I'm going to talk about bridal showers at a different time. First off, I feel like these universal rules around relationships that, do this, do that, men require this, women require that, I feel like the vast majority of them are nonsense. Precisely because, and I believe this firmly, I don't think relationships have a template. There's no specific template to relationships. Each and every relationship has a different dynamic. Each and every relationship has two fundamentally different human beings that differ from the next two fundamentally different human beings. So if we're not working towards understanding each other and instead are using these generic grand rules, cook for your man before he arrives, or do this and that, it reduces relationships to a set of rules and tasks rather than an actual, genuine, meaningful interaction that happens every day in your life, which would be sad. I have been in such a relationship before, and no, it's not a thing that I want. And again, that is me. Maybe there's someone out there who wants it, but that is precisely my point, that each and every relationship is different. So this thing about men are babies already generalizes it. See how mad I am.
Generalize.
Already generalizes it, and also I come from a side of Kenya where S's are a problem. To such an extent that you therefore cannot engage with me as an actual human being, but you're engaging with me as this cute little baby. No. No, 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 no. If you're not working to study your human, both as a man and as a woman, if you're not working to learn your partner, then there is no point to it. There is none whatsoever. But number two, and I love how Wende put it, because it's through her that I saw now the tweet. I'll quote it exactly as she put it. I wish this conversation was about the need for men, just like women, to have a space in a relationship to be soft, to be vulnerable and safe. Which is a brilliant thing. I didn't make the connection until I saw Wende's tweet about it. A lot of this men are babies conversation is precisely because as men, a lot of us, and yeah, jump into the comments, dislike this, rant, it is fine, but it is true. A lot of us as men don't put in the emotional work to interrogate ourselves and interrogate our feelings. Fine, we were raised the way we were raised, we grew up the way we grew up, which ultimately does have an effect on how we end up being as adults. I do not take that away. It is a fundamental thing that forms who we are as human beings. But if we don't take the time to figure out why I react the way I do, why do I think the way I do, why do I speak to other people, to women, to men the way I do, then we're not putting in the work. And I feel like that's the root of a lot of this. It's that a lot of us as men don't put in the work to interrogate ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable both amongst our friends and to ourselves. And therefore, with that, we reinforce this narrative of if you're getting married to a man, treat him like a baby. So he cannot express himself, and therefore you need to make an assumption, and therefore it creates a whole host of problems that I don't have the time to get into right now. However, the point of a relationship, ultimately, I feel, is partnership. However, recognizing my very phrase earlier on, my very statement earlier on, listen, if being a baby works for you, sawa. If being a baby works for your partner in life, sawa. Do you prosper? But it's a hard life, eh? I can't imagine how difficult that life is. Generalizes it. See how mad I am.
Generalize.